Hey guys, how you guys doing? Well, today we're going to be looking at reviewing for a Module 3 assessment that I'm going to be opening up on Thursday night at about 7 p.m. and then you'll have until, I'm going to give you until Friday at 11, actually Saturday, I'll give it till Saturday at 12 o'clock on Saturday to get it done. So basically we're covering, and it's only going to be 10 questions, okay? This guy is usually a big one. In the lab area, you've got about 16 stations set up, and then you would do a written one afterwards. So this one it would take the whole hour and a half, to be honest with you. But you guys won't get a chance to do that this time, unfortunately, the way we are right now. But you will have a 10-question written assessment. So we're going to do a little review on that real quick for you guys. So on the lab review is going to be covering pretty much, everything that we covered up to now on Chapter 3. One thing that we'll probably get you to do is valve stem to guide measurement. I'll have some readings on there on the valve. And what you're going to do is you'll take the valve stem diameter, minus it by the guide, and that gives you clearance, okay? Your valve stem guide clearance. And that was on one of my demo videos that I gave for you guys. And then of course I'll give you the specifications on that. If it's excessive of more than 2 or 3 thousandths, then it's a fail, okay? So you'll let me know if it's a pass or fail on this one. The other thing we'll look at is establishing cam timing on a timing chain. On this one, you're going to pretty much let me know and describe to me how you would do a timing chain, and what would you have to do to get the timing chain set up with the 2 dots on the camshaft and the crankshaft sprocket. And where the piston needs to be at, of course, it's got to be at top dead center. Only on an OHV engine, no dual overhead cam or anything like that, but pretty much just let me know that you got the 2 dots lined up between the camshaft at the 6 o'clock position and the crank at the 12 o'clock position with the number 1 piston at top dead center. Okay. Also, explain to me how to do a valve lash adjustment on a hydraulic lifters. And that's pretty much how we get into 0 lash, and then we're going to go a turn and a half past 0 lash. That will give us our valve total valve lash adjustment. So when we adjust it to a turn and a half past the 0, okay? And I'll probably give you a cam lobe measurement, lobe lift measurement. We went from AB minus CD to give us a lobe lift. So I'll probably give you some readings on that, and let me know. I'll give you specifications and let me know if it's a pass or fail on that one right there. Next one we're probably looking at wanting to do for you guys is identify the parts, all the parts of the cylinder head. We've got the cylinder head, we've got the intake valve, exhaust valve, the springs, the valve springs, the shims, retainers, the keepers, the valve stem seals. Okay, pretty much composite and build up the cylinder head assembly. So I'll probably get you to do that for me. Just let me know all the parts of the cylinder head. Okay, valve guide, of course, is one thing right there to be that should be put in there as well. So basically, just let me know what the parts of the cylinder head are composed of. Intake and exhaust valve, don't forget those. Then I'm going to get you on a written part of it as well, calculating total valve lift, and we get that by taking the lobe lift multiplied by the rocker arm ratio. So if we're looking at 1 on an OHV, we're looking at the lobe lift, multiply it times the 1.5, and that will give us our gross valve lift for that one particular OHV engine. If it's an OHC engine, of course, we're going to do it the opposite way. We're going to multiply it times 1.6. And if you have it in millimeters, We're just going to take that millimeter reading and multiply it times 1.6 to give us our gross valve lift in millimeters. Okay. Valve train, list the parts of the valve train on an OHV engine starting at the camshaft in order. Okay, so we're looking at the camshaft, the lifters, the push rods, the rocker arm, the valve spring, and retaining keepers in order. Okay, so let me know in the order of flow, just like you did on the coolant passages and just like you did on the oil passages, the way that works. Let me know the parts of the valve train starting from the camshaft in order that they travel. And this is mechanically how they work. Okay. The other one you're going to do for me is initial cylinder head inspection. So you have it removed based on one of the videos that I showed you there. Check the surfaces for cracks and damage. Check the valve springs for squareness, cracks, height, and damage. Okay. Check the valve fillet areas for carbon deposits or cracks. Check the valve head for overhang of the margin. Make sure it's not recessed inside. That's one of the things you want to check. So check the valve head for overhang and margin. Check the valve spring tips and for impacts, damage, or rotation patterns. Check the valve stem height. That's one of the demos that I did for you guys there. Where we check it with the steel rule between the bottom part of the spring to the top part right there of the or bottom area of the retainer with the steel rule. Check the installed height. Remember we did that one with the keepers installed, and then we took the keepers off and just basically took the valve spring off of that, and then measured it again with the valve spring off of the cylinder head, where we measured from the base to the bottom part of the retainer for the installed height. And the other thing is that I'll get you to do is list the 2 guidelines that are used to prevent part damage when disassembling an engine. And that is, we disassemble the engine at room temperature. We never disassemble an engine when it's hot because it can warp. We have to wait for it to cool down. And then of course, de-torquing the fasteners in reverse order of tightening. Okay, we never want to, like cylinder heads, we start de-torquing from the outside in. Crankshaft, same thing, outside in as we're going through it. And there is a sequence in that, and the service procedures will tell you exactly when you go back to torque them and put them together, the torquing sequence pattern. You'll see it from the outside in when you get ready to torque that cylinder head in a 3-step process. Okay, so we'll be looking out for that before we get into module 4, which is going to be on the whole engine block. We'll be looking at doing some things. Piston, you got a piston and crankshaft worksheet that we'll be looking at. I got some stuff for the pistons that we'll do. Don't know if I'm going to get a chance to go out there to the lab because they asked us not to be out there for doing any demos out there at the school at this point. But we'll try our best to see what we can do to get you going for that. And then also later on, of course, we'll review for the final exam. I already have it out there, so we'll look at that guy pretty good, and then we'll have a good review for that as well. Okay, so you guys take care, be safe out there.